What's up, YouTube? Another draft in the Arena Cube. Super excited to jump into this one. This is best of three, and we have quite the pack here. Some notable things to call out right off the bat. We have a Shieldred, a Tameo, and a Solitude. These three cards are individually very strong. They often cement you into the color that you're playing. I think the best card here in a vacuum is Solitude. I think white is one of the strongest colors in the cube. I think having instant speed removal is important, and free removal is also important. I think Tameo is stronger than Shieldred for a variety of reasons, the main one being just the pace of aggro, and Tameo doing a lot. But I'm going to take Solitude here. I think it's the better card, but I think it's very justifiable to take Tameo. I don't love taking Shieldred here. You'd have to really make an argument for me to do that. Some things of note in this pack. We have Portal and Coveted Jewel in this pack. I'd assume neither of them wheels, and it means that a lot of the like sneak and show or Tinker combo options are not going to be present, which makes me less excited to take Tameo as well. Tameo does well in the artifact shell, and is just another reason that I think Solitude's the better card here, so I'm going to take it. Solitude's going to make a lot of decks for us. Into nothing exciting. Take a really early Dark Depths. I don't think this combo is particularly great. I think there's a lot of ways to deal with it. Solitude deals with it. Dark Depths makes a 20/20 indestructible with flying, basically a one-hit KO. Honestly, though, this pack is pretty sad. Plateau is a pretty strong card, and honestly, I'm tempted to take it and just slam the Boros aggro. It's clear that this pack was not particularly exciting to begin with. You don't need a lot for Boros aggro to be great, and when you don't have a lot of things going your way, Boros aggro can kind of make your deck perform at a level you'd expect for Vintage Cube. So I'm going to take this Plateau. It's also just a good land. I think it's better than Get Lost. I think Get Lost is very okay. With how many artifact strategies there are a lot of decks where you don't want to give them two artifacts, and there's just not a lot of targets for creatures or enchantments or planeswalkers in those artifact decks as well. So take a Plateau, stay pretty open, red white things. Oh, sneak attack. Oh man. That's pretty funny. There's also a Crucible of Worlds and the Tinker. So basically everything all in one pack for the other strategies. We just passed a Woodfall Primus for the sneak attack. We passed in our first opening pack a Portal and a Coveted Jewel, which means A, you're only getting one of those, and B, you have to hope one of them comes back. Also, Bolas Citadel is in this pack, which is the next best thing to tinker for most of the time. I think I'm taking either Caracas or a Demi here. There's a good number of legendary creatures, but there's also a good number of creatures that aren't legendary that are problematic. So I don't go crazy for Caracas, but I think there's enough that it's better than just taking a Demi, which is just a good 2-drop. But there's a lot of good 2-drops in Boros aggro. So I'm going to take Caracas. I think it's kind of a free roll, especially if you're in the white deck. Caracas notably only bounces creatures, so you cannot bounce like your Wandering Emperors or things like that. Strip Mine, if we had taken that Crucible of Worlds, basically all the combos. Thespian Stage for that Dark Depths that's coming around almost likely. Titania in this pack as well. I'm leaning on like GT. I think Kellen's okay. I don't think it's crazy. I'm just going to take the GT here, though. I haven't gotten to do GT things, and I really like Umazawa's GT. So I'm going to take it. I think it's better than Wandering Emperor, certainly in best of three. And someone gets to do Titania Strip Mine things almost certainly. It just won't be me. Voice of Victory here is a pretty easy pickup. I think this card is a house. Aside from the fact that it's essentially a 3/3 for 3, it's just very hard to block that 3/3 because it makes all these 1/1s. But notably, for certain decks, this is just an absolute you have to kill it card because it shuts off so many of the things they're trying to do. And for us, it's kind of just another 2-drop. And if they have to use removal on that, they're not using removal on much scarier things or later things. Here's a little bit of a choice. I like Skyclave a lot. I don't know if it's right here. Flicker Wisp is decent as a blink effect. It blinks Solitude. It blinks that's it right now. But also can blink your opponent's things. There's a lot of combos with this. I think Adversary's fine. It almost is just very filler. I'm going to take Flicker Whips. It has the best likelihood of being really good in our deck. I think Galvanic Blast is also an okay pickup. It's essentially just going to be a shock most of the time. Whoa, wow, this is a choice. Skull Clamp, Corey, Steel Cutter, Gideon. I think I gotta take Skull Clamp here. We already have a great target in Flicker Wisp. The 1/1s that Voice of Victory attacks and makes die at the end of your turn, not at the end of combat. So you can attack, and if they leave a 1/1 up, you can free roll Skull Clamp them. I think it's just very powerful. We are now definitely in the ballpark of also looking for a, what's it called? Stoneforge Mystic to go with this pair of artifacts we already have. I'm going to take Epicure here. I don't want any of these other cards. Enduring Curiosity has been interesting, and the blue-white kind of aggro tokeny deck has been pretty good. Epicure's pretty mid, actually. I mean, it's fine with GT and it's great with Skull Clamp, and otherwise, it's kind of doing whatever. I'm gonna say Curiosity, actually. If we end up in like a white-blue token strategy, Curiosity's gonna be amazing, and I'm a fan of taking cards that are gonna be amazing. I really want to take this Arid Mesa, but Staff of the Storyteller is just too good. So not only does it make a 1/1 for our Skull Clamp, but every time you make a token, you get a story counter on this, and then you can remove story counters to draw cards for a white. Voice of Victory makes a token every turn. We're already doing kind of a tokeny strategy. I think it's just too good to pass over a bunch of cards that are decent and are going to make our deck better. But Arena of Glory is a little bit of a free roll here. We haven't picked up a red card, but Arena of Glory is just great. If you don't know how it works, it's essentially a mountain that taps for red if you already have a mountain. Wow, look at that. A Demi Wield. I think it's better than Figure, since we don't actually know if we're red yet, and a Demi just does a lot. But Arena of Glory, you can exert it, which means it won't untap on your next turn to get double red, but then any creatures you cast with that double red gain haste that turn. So, yeah, pretty good. We'll take Callan now. It dies to Skull Clamp and also can be kind of like a mid to late game threat by pumping it. It's also just a 1-mana 2/1, and as a general statement in these kind of formats, playing a 1-mana 2/1 that can do a lot is great. Kellen's activated ability, this is important to note, is instant speed, so we can hold up like a Demi, Staff of the Storyteller, activations, or even Solitude. I guess I'll take Manamorphose because I don't want people playing red. I don't care if people are playing black or green. Same reason I'm taking the Restless Ridgeline is to just make it harder to play red. Seething Song's cute. It's not really what we're doing, and that's okay. Would love to see power, but we're not going to get so lucky on the second pack either here. Speaking of not getting so lucky, this pack is just not for us. I mean, Portal Hole and Burst Lightning are okay. There's an Ice Till for whoever went the Crucible Strip Mine kind of route. There's an Endstone and Nexus of Becoming for possible tinkery things. Nadu for combo-y things. This pack is just not for us at all. I've said that this is like the worst position to take Booster Tutor, where you're kind of just throwing it in a deck as a card. Yeah, this is a rough one. I'm not happy about this pick at all. We already have multiple. This is an interesting consideration. I'm thinking about taking this Nadu. We already have Skull Clamp and Jite to do targeting things with Nadu. Nadu does not need a lot to be great. It often just kind of resolves itself. And we are super unsure what we're doing on that side of the ball. Okay. A little bit better pick here. There's a Fiery Confluence, which is just fantastic, and it makes me want to be red even more. The important to note, Ring of Glory costs red to make double red, so it's not going to tap for our double red for us. Adeline is just good, and it's great with our Caracas to protect it. Here's my thought, though. I want to take Fiery Confluence, even though it's wheeled so much, and it probably would wheel if I didn't take it, and that's okay, but it's not a risk I want to take. And then I'm almost certainly wheeling one of these two 3 drops and Kithian. And I think all three of them are good and they're going to make my deck. So I'm going to take the red card because out of this pack, aside from the 3 white cards that I want at least one to wheel with, Miscal's getting taken, Otawara is getting taken, Breach is getting taken, Endurance is getting taken, and Leovold's getting taken. So I need someone to take like Urtai, Breeding Pool, Boseiju. Like, yeah, we'll take this Fiery Confluence. Be pretty happy about it. Oh my goodness, there's an Academy 3rd pick. What? I mean, I'm taking a Johnny. A Johnny's just incredible. It's incredible with Skull Clamp. It's incredible just as a card. Uh, yeah, we're just gonna slam a Johnny here. I think a Johnny's pack 1 pick winnable easily. And Parallax Wave. Okay. Parallax Wave is a removal spell, but more importantly, against the control decks, Parallax Wave can just absolutely house them, prevent them from playing cards. I would love to see Chain Lightning, Sunbaked Canyon, or Mana Confluence come back. And we'll see what happens there. Oh my goodness. Elsbeth Stormslayer, Hellrider's pretty good. I gotta take the Stormslayer. There's a Mishra's Workshop. Artifacts are just not being taken, which is kind of insane, but Elsbeth as our top end. I'm basically done with taking top end at this point, uh, unless we hit some serious mana ramping, but that's okay. It makes tokens. It kind of does it all. Okay, 6 pick Chrome Mox is unacceptable. Uh, there are not as many mana accelerators in this cube. Notably, there is neither of the spirit guides, the red or the green spirit guide. So mana acceleration gets a lot better. Aggro decks are desperate for a little bit of acceleration and are happy to throw a card away to get on the board faster. Just a really easy pickup for us. Into Reprieve or Goblin Bombardment. I'm going to take Goblin Bombardment. We already have a lot of tokens. That's always a good place to do bombardment things. But more importantly, we have a Johnny. And Bombardment, a Johnny, is just too good. I don't think we're doing this blue thing. I think that cements us into Boros. We don't need a lot of red cards for Boros to be where we want to be. Bobble for whoever's doing the bobbly kind of thing. I mean, it kind of just a free roll in our deck, but we don't want to be playing a mana behind and we have no use for it. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to take Phyrexian Metamorph. It can be pretty good. We're just going to pay the 2 life most of the time. Yeah, this is our pack we opened. It's just as depressing as when we saw it the first time. I'm going to take Burst Lightning. It's a good sideboard card for like an aggro versus aggro deck. You can also notably go face, which is relevant. I think Metamorph is also a good sideboard card for when your opponent is doing kind of cheaty things like Reanimator or Show and Tell, and being able to copy their ridiculously big thing for either 3 mana or if they have Show and Tell specifically, put it in with Metamorph. Actually, I don't think Metamorph works with Show and Tell because it's not on the battlefield. Look at that. We got Kithian. I actually think Kithian was the best of the 3 that we were offering there between Adeline and Sanguine Evangelist. Maybe Evangelist was better, but very close. Bone Crusher Giant, happy to take it. It's a removal spell and a threat. His Bone Crusher Giant's ability to deal 2 damage whenever it becomes targeted is only when it becomes targeted by spells, so it works great with equipment. We don't need to worry about hurting ourselves. Chain Lightning's a easy pickup here, a little bit more removal. Over here on the right, this is like my cut pile, cards that I'm not confident I'm playing. You can see that I'm already very confident I'm playing almost everything I've drafted, which means at this point, lands are a nice pickup. It's usually Boros' weakness is not having good lands, partially because you're just playing a dedicated 2-color deck. You can also see we have a lot of pips. Double white, double white, double white, double red, double white. It just keeps going. Green-white talisman's not for me. Mana Tithe is, though. I like a Mana Tithe a lot, especially in an aggro deck. Unexpectedly Absent is excellent removal, but we have a lot of removal. Beaumont Courier is not for me. I don't think it's good enough. Oh my goodness. Wow. I mean, I'm taking Black Lotus. Hilariously, we're already kind of in a deck with Black Lotus being amazing. It's hard not to be in a deck where Black Lotus is amazing, but you want powerful 3s, 4s, and 5s with Black Lotus. And we already have Elsbeth and Solitude. Those are very powerful, and we are now going to be looking for more. Swords is in this pack. I really don't expect it to wheel. This pack is loaded with goodies, though, I will say. Make it a little bigger. So I'm taking Black Lotus. 7 cards get picked before I see this. back again. One of those is Mana Vault. Uh, one of those is Memory Lapse. One of those is Swords. One of those is Kappa Cannoneer. So that's 4. So 3 ever cards get taken, and I just need one of them to not be Guide of Souls or Monastery Mentor, as I would happily play either. I don't think I'd play the Talisman. It is acceleration, but I don't want to be taking a turn off to play Talisman. Easy Black Lotus into... We have a Sword. We have a Lotus Petal. Showdown of the Scalds. Oh man, I'm taking Lightning Bolt. It doesn't go great with the Black Lotus we just took, but that doesn't matter. It's Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is Lightning Bolt. We don't need a lot for it to be for Black Lotus to be amazing. Path to Exile is good. Elite Spellbinder is fine. Chandra with Black Lotus is crazy. So you basically turn 1, play any land and your Black Lotus, you play Chandra, you uptick it. If you can use the uptick of 2 red to then play like a Kellen or a Goblin Bombardment or a Jite, you are just so far ahead, it's absurd. I like Thalia, I like Elite Spellbinder, I love Lion Sash, Path to Exile is great. We're doing great on removal though. I'm going to take Chandra. It's going to make our deck a lot better. It gives us a great target for that Black Lotus to pump to. Interesting. Sage of the Skies is my pick here for a variety of reasons. For one thing, it's really good off Black Lotus because you play Lotus and then it already triggers the second spell, so you get 2/2/3s on turn 1. But it also goes great with all of our like 1-drops. You play on turn 4 a 1-drop and a Sage, or on turn 2 a Chrome Mox into the Sage. Yeah, there's just a lot of reasons that I'm happy to take a Sage of the Skies here. And we'll wheel one of these big dumb things that I probably won't put in my deck, and that's okay. I don't like putting Hazoret into play off of Black Lotus. It just is not effective enough. Ooh, this pack is just awful. So Hazoret is a 5/4 indestructible haste, but it can't attack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. So if you Black Lotus this out, unless you mulligan down to like 2, you're not actually going to be able to do anything with them except for discard for 2 mana. Just not what we're trying to do. The Flying Haste ETB deal 1 is fine, I guess. I will take it. I mean, there's nothing here for me. I'm happy to see. I'm not playing this Nova Hellkite in 90% of my decks. I would love to take a library. This is not really a library deck. We're blasting out our hand on turn 1 and not holding much up. I like Lauren a lot. I like Yera, but right now we have more than enough cards to play our deck. Our biggest weakness is lands. We have no fetches, so I think Elegant Parlor is worse. So I'm going to take Sacred Foundry as just a dual land, and see how that goes. Woo! Pyrokinesis, very strong removal. Tursa on turn 1 with Black Lotus, or even just accelerating them out, really good. I kind of want to take Containment Priest. We already have a Flicker Wisp, which is excellent. But basically, if a non-token creature would enter and it wasn't cast, you exile it instead. So we have Parallax Wave, which means if we play Containment Priest and then Parallax Wave all of our stuff, and then Parallax Wave goes away, they don't get the things back. Enduring Innocence, Giver of Runes. Ooh, this is tough. Enduring Innocence for some card draw. Dies off Skull Clamp, becomes an enchantment. Pretty good to Black Lotus out. I like it, but I think Giver of Runes is just going to be better on average. Yeah, I think Giver of Runes is better. Hey, we wield Monastery Mentor. We have a lot of non-creature spells, and playing a turn 1 Monastery Mentor is, for a lot of decks, going to be very difficult to deal with. I don't think we're playing this Metamorph. I think there's a world where pro red and blue. If I had Stoneforge, I'd take this sword, but I'm going to take Showdown. Against the more control-y decks, Showdown can be pretty good. I'm going to take Lion Sash here pretty easily as a way to prevent myself from getting graveyarded. I like Glorybringer a lot. I don't know if I'm going to play it in the main board. I guess I'll just hate the worm. I don't know. Yura was an overperformer. Wow, we're going to have a lot of cuts here. I don't think Higher Claw is good enough. We're going to have a lot of cuts here on our Black Lotus Boros deck. Ooh, what do we want to do? Well, the lands are pretty easy. I'm basically just cutting some lands. For mana acceleration, I always want to see what I'm working with. It looks like it's just Chrome Mox and Black Lotus. Chrome Mox is just straight up a land. Black Lotus is a land most of the time is how I count it. And so as a result, we're cutting at least 2 lands, one of each. And then I would actually argue this is at most a 16 land deck. I don't think it's 15. We have a lot of 4s and 5s, but I do think it's at least a 16 land deck. And right now we're technically at 17. You have 11 off the 5 and 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, we're cutting at least one more land. Let's see what we're cutting from the deck itself first. So we're at 45 cards, minus land is 44. So we have 4 cuts to make. Manitive, Burst Lightning. Could be GT. Could be GT. Maybe one of these 3s. Might be Mentor. Could be Glory Bringer. We already have two 5s. I think Glory Bringer's good. I don't know if it's what I want to be. I don't have any exile for red. So this is my 4 cuts right now. I think Yera's been really impressive. It's a 3-mana 3/3 that when it enters, you choose a card type other than creature after looking at their hand, and those spells cost 1 more to cast. We don't have too much outside of creatures. We have a little bit of everything else, so we can make an educated decision about what would slow our opponent down. Also, if you have a tapped creature, you can bounce that tapped creature to your hand and then pay a white instead of 3 mana. If we play like a turn 1 Kellen, attack with it, bounce Yera, use it, play a plains, bounce bounce it with Yera, and then replay Kellen. That's a great play. It's good with a Johnny, good with a Demi, which has flying. My issue, I don't really have that many 1-drops. I have 3 1-drops, 2 of which I don't really want to be bouncing back to my hand. It's great with like the Voice of Victory tokens because they're going to sacrifice anyway. Not very good with other tokens. Yeah, I'm going to cut Yera. I love Manitive. Could kind of be a dead card, but we have a Solitude. Manitive's really good against unfair decks that want to do stuff all on turn 1. You just hold up a plains. Problem is we're almost always going to be trying to play something on turn 1 or 2 off Chrome Mox. So I think the card I'm keeping in is either GT or Glorybringer and cutting these 3. Glorybringer gives us another juicy target for our Black Lotus. Thing is, hands where we already have Black Lotus are going to be really good. GT is pretty slow, but if you get GT going, you often just win the game. So, I'm going to have less creatures with skull clamping things. I'm going to play the Glorybringer. Be a little bit beefier. We have a Chrome Mox as well to help us get there. All right, and then now that we've figured out our mana, we can look at our card base. 15 and 8, pretty decisively more white than black. 7 white sources, 6 red, and then Plateau, Sacred Foundry, Black Lotus, and Chrome Mox are all of the above. So I guess we're cutting a red source. All right, that's the deck. Boros Aggro with a little bit of Black Lotus action. Let's see how we do. On the draw, that's okay. We got Black Lotus and a Chrome Mox to help us kind of accelerate out. Oh, hey, Black Lotus and Sage of the Skies. That's one of those combos that we were hoping to put together. We even have a Lightning Bolt to go with it and a Solitude if we need to use that. Yeah, so turn 1 here, we can go Lightning Bolt their play, and then Sage of the Skies off of a Black Lotus. Seems pretty good. Oh, Ring of Glory does not enter untapped because I don't have a mountain. I think that's fine though. I'm going to still play it here. And then we're just going to Black Lotus out this Sage of the Skies off of triple white. Turn 1, just a casual 4/6 of lifelink flying in play on turn 1. Let's see what they got. They could always obviously have double removal spell, trigger Dragon's Rage twice. Thing is, though, even after triggering Dragon's Rage twice, I still can Lightning Bolt it. But yeah, I'd say they're pretty far behind already. Black Lotus will do that. Glimmer Lens is pretty good. It's a creature. It triggers Dragon's Rage. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Pass. Yeah, I figured no block, no attacks. I'm going to play this Plains here so that we can play a Demi, and we're going to get the hurt on right away. And then we're just going to pass. So we can hold up, flashing in a Demi. I don't want them to draw a card. So we're just going to blow up DRC. Yeah, that's fine. Unexpectedly Absent can put this Rebel token away permanently. Elite Spellbinder. I'm pretty fine with that. I could have Solituded. Oh, that is not what you should do with that. So now I'm almost certainly just exiling this with, I'm using a card to exile it. So I'm going to play, oh, it costs 2 more through the Evoke, right? When this creature enters, exile target, if Razon's card means it, they play it, a spell costs this way, costs 2 more to cast. You may pay the spell for its Evoke cost. So its Evoke makes it 0, and Elite Spellbinder makes it 2 more. So I still have to pay 2. So here I could play Skull Clamp and Solitude, which I quite like. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play Skull Clamp out, and I'm going to exile this Unexpectedly Absent to get rid of this Elite Spellbinder. They gain 3, and then I gain 4 and deal 4, so they lose 1 and I gain 4. Just keeping the pressure on. Stoneforge is scary. They could go get Kaldra. Kaldra does not have reach. Ooh, Giver of Runes. Cannot give... It can give protection from colorless. So we can play Giver of Runes and Skull Clamp for an extra damage, and then move the Skull Clamp to Giver of Runes, so that if they kill it, I get the trigger at least. Does it have lifelink? It doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to play, or I'm going to move Skull Clamp onto Sage of the Skies, tapping a red. And then I'm going to swing for 5 in the air. And then I'm going to play Giver of Runes, and we're going to Skull Clamp it. We have so much life, so I am not worried about that aspect. I'm at 30 life. Kaldra is a blocker, certainly, but if we're just Stoneforging to put Kaldra into play next turn, I'm pretty happy about it. Ooh, we're holding up mana to Stoneforge, assumably. I can now also flash this in and then give my creatures hexproof and indestructible. So I am not going to move the Skull Clamp for an extra damage. I'm just going to swing with my flyers. And we have double flash creatures to hold up. Containment Priest for 1. We have a non-token creature, so I cannot Stoneforge this, or Containment Priest this. They just get to put Cauldron into play. Batter Skull. Interesting. It's a black germ. So what we're going to do is we're going to flash in a Demi and block it, and then try and Giver of Runes it. If in response they try to, like, you know, do silly things, we're chill. I'm going to do this No, they can draw the card first. I want to do this before blocks. Pass to blocks, like this. And then I give it pro black for free. I don't want them gaining the 4 life. And then if they try to kill a Demi in response, it doesn't have trample, so it just will prevent the damage, and I have lethal on board now. So I can move Skull Clamp. So we give protection from black, because it's a black germ. Pass. Yeah, all of this was in an effort to prevent them from gaining life. Oh, that has haste, or reach. They still died to a Demi giving itself flying. Why does it want to tap my white? The Demi gains flying. Next. Ball attack. Oh, I need to move Skull Clamp first. They're technically not dead here. Oops. I can give it pro red right now. I will try to go for lethal. Because I can always just sacrifice it. Okay. Well, now they're gonna kill themselves. Path to exile. I can give my other creatures hexproof and indestructible, but they already have to chump block. I'd rather go get a land. So I will go get a land. I obviously want a plains here. Resolve. And they have to chump block. Pass. Take a damage to Ephemerate. I can Tame and Priest that. So now it doesn't come back. I don't think you want to Ephemerate anything. Yeah. So they do get to gain 4 life off of the Batter Skull. Back up to 5. But that kills them off of Skull Clamping. I'm at 33, so if they're putting in like Cauldra to attack and whatever, I just don't care. Death Greeter's champion dashed. Oh no. Double strike haste. But more importantly, that's a lot of life gain. I can kill the Glimmer Lensed creature, but I think having a Containment Priest is going to be better for me. Yeah, they gain 11. Death Greeters goes back. Oh, that's pretty good. So we need to hold up Giver of Runes to be able to block and then give pro black off of Batter Skull. So we have 1 mana to move around with. So our 1 mana is going to be moving Skull Clamp here. Yeah. And then we're going to play Voice of Victory before combat, so they can't do things in response. And then we go to combat. We swing for 5 in the air. We're basically setting up lethal for next turn. Gain 6 life. Play Kellen. I have so many blockers. And we have a Giver of Runes. which we will save until the very last moment to give pro whatever to the Batter Skull when it attacks with Double Strike. The only way this doesn't work is if they have 2 removal spells and they at instant speed. So yeah, they get the Glimmer Lens. The thing I'm most okay with dying is Kellen. So we block the Kellen here and the Voice of Victory here because it's just a free block. Choose those blockers. And then we give Kellen Pro Black. So they don't gain the life. Another land is irrelevant. Why didn't they do that first?
You want to play with fire, huh?
Giver of Runes? And you can put in Cauldra. You gain 5 life if I attack with anything on the ground. Ugh, another land is not what we wanted to see. I could sacrifice Kellen to draw 2 cards off of Skull Clamp. Voice of Victory just makes it so they can't cast spells, so they can pay a life to put Cauldron into play. If we attack with only the flyers, that is not a choice. If we attack with everything with the plan of pumping Kellen to be a 3-2, they put Cauldron into play and just block Kellen and it does nothing. So Kellen's not doing a lot for us, so I'm going to move the Skull Clamp and just get my 2 cards here. Once again, they can't cast spells, they can only just activate Stoneforge. It's their only real play here. Monastery Mentor is interesting. The problem is they're going to gain 10 life next turn off of this Batter Skull and Cauldra. And there's like nothing I can do about it. I could play Mentor with the plan of just then equipping Skull Clamp. I can attack with everything, let them get their damage, and then Skull Clamp tokens from Voice of Victory. If I attack with everything, they're gaining 5 life though. Man, I really want. Ooh, I could equip Skull Clamp onto Voice of Victory so that when it dies... Oh, but then they just block the 2 1/1s. I could equip it to Containment Priest. Okay. Play land. I think we're just holding back this turn, because even with Monastery Mentor with haste, it just doesn't do it. And I want the 2 cards, so we're going to put Containment Priest to draw 2, and then the plan is we're just going to block with Containment Priest. And they're only going to gain the 6. They only have 1 flyer, or they have no flyers, so we're going to kill Chandra. Prevent them from getting another card. They put in Cauldra here and lose a life. We're at 22, which is a lot, but
You don't need me anymore.
yeah, they have a lot of damage next turn off of a hasted Death Greeter's Champion. But let's see, Death Greeter's Champion really pulling a lot of work here. Alright, so you gain 6, I take 7, and then I draw 2 cards and you gain 6 life. Oh, I can block 2 for free, which I will do. Yeah. Bomb. You gain 6, I draw 2 cards. Elsbeth. Let's go. And Parallax Wave. Unfortunately, we did just lose our Containment Priest, but I think that is fine. There's so many ways we can win from here. 2, 4. Yeah, Elsbeth just wins in the air. They can't cast spells. So we can just Put 1/1 counter and give everything flying. Seems good to me. Yeah, can't cast spells because of Voice of Victory. No reach, no reach, no reach. Flying. And we have to make sure not to attack with Voice of Victory because then they gain 6 life off of it. I will throw this on the flyer. Why not? Yeah, if I attack with Voice of Victory, it makes 2 1/1s on the ground, and then Battle School blocks and gains 6 life. I would have waited to make sure that I wasn't going to lose to that, but yeah. So Burst Lightning looks pretty great. They have Stoneforge, they have Dragon's Rage Channeler. I think Mad Tide is a lot worse, but we are on the draw, and Mad Tide can hit like Glimmerlens, Stoneforge, Path and Dragon's Rage, Robber. I don't know, maybe Mad Tide on the draw is the move. Higher Claw's okay. Shutdown of Scalds is a really good card against a deck like this where they don't have a ton of removal and I just need to draw to my win cons. Fiery Confluence didn't seem... Oh, it seems amazing. Oh wait, no. Cauldron Complete is indestructible. But it does blow up the Batter Skull and the Glimmer Lens, so we'll keep in Fiery Confluence. Things that didn't seem too great. Lion Sash, they're doing nothing with their graveyard. Yeah, I'll take that out, and then we'll just play 41, 16. I don't mind that against the aggro deck. We want to be playing aggressively anyway. Early turns. All right, that was a tough game. They had a lot of removal too, so that. Ooh, Johnny Monist. Yeah, this is pretty good. We just need them to not go so fast, but Parallax Wave just is gonna be amazing. So, Githian. I play Karakas. I don't think you should get to ever attack with Githian forever. No thanks. You already took a damage to play Githian, so now we're taking 2 damage a turn. I would love to hold up a Johnny, but I think I just need to play on board here. Because it also essentially blocks, because they need to remove a Johnny, but then I also have a blocker, so... Very likely it's a 2-for-1, which is kind of why Johnny is so crazy. Funny enough, I don't mind you playing a Stoneforge, because I have Parallax Wave. Oh, Solitude? Solid dude. I'm thinking I just hold that back. And I'm just going to play Mentor. They have an Elite Spellbinder. That's fine, if that's what they want to do with their turn. Next. No attacks. You got it. What would you like to do? Kivian costs 3 to make indestructible. Okay, we're holding up, just putting in a Batter Skull, which is immediately punished by me playing a Parallax Wave. And making a Monastery Mentor dude. Why are we conceding? Why did we concede? You had the Mana Tithe. What? What just happened? Why did you concede after playing the Mana Tithe? That is the counter. That puts you so far back into the game. We'll take it. This is Vintage Cube. You should basically never assume you're out until you're out. There's so much you can do in your deck. I know I have a Black Lotus in my deck, but like, you could absolutely take that game and go to a game 3 after Mana Tithing the Parallax Wave, but maybe they just were over it. They were like, I don't want to keep it going. Regardless, into game 2, Boros Aggro doing Boros Aggro things. That was the mirror match. Fun fact: when the meta is really high on a certain deck like Boros Aggro, uh, one of the things you need to consider about its win rate is only one of the two Boros Aggro decks can win the match, which is why win rates are always kind of tiered down. Because when something's a lot of the meta, it plays against itself and takes down its win rate. So you often look at decks as a how does it perform against everything else? Because if you're playing the mirror, it's the mirror. It's a 50-50, right? Only one person can win. Wow. On the draw, but with Caracas and 4 2-drops and a Parallax Wave. I would love to keep this, but we have much better keeps, and I do not like the risk. When we could just keep a hand like this. So we're going Lightning Bolt, Ajani, Bone Crusher, so Staff is not happening. Oh, I could put the land back. I don't know. I'm gonna put the Staff. I want to be able to play Bone Crusher on 3 if I need to. Against an aggro matchup, I don't want to be hurting on lands. And we have no idea what our opponent's doing, so... Well, drawing a 1-drop instead of holding up Lightning Bolt seems pretty good, given they played nothing on turn 1. It's a red-green land, but it's only green if you have a mountain or forest in play. Taiga does that, so they could have led on Taiga. Turn 1 Questing Druid. I think I'm going to just go... I could Bone Crusher it. I could Lightning Bolt it. I kind of like Bone Crushering it. The reason being is that Lightning Bolt could be better later, and this accomplishes the same thing. I think putting Kythian into play here is fine, but I like the idea of next turn going Ajani Lightning Bolt or Bone Crusher, depending on if they play something. Misty Rainforest when you have a Taiga seems pretty good. Well, we're not playing anything with haste, so we'll just do this. We're not activating. So one thought is we play Kythian with holding up activating Kellen or lightning bolting. The other thought is we just get an Ajani down. I like playing Kythian and holding up either lightning bolt or planar. Getting cards off of Kellen makes him kind of a must kill. I'm just going to keep putting in threats that need to be dealt with and trying not to make myself susceptible to like a Fiery Confluence. Right now, Fiery Confluence is great. It deals 4 to me and kills both of my creatures. If that's their play, I'm much happier doing this than having played a Johnny and lost a Johnny. I'd rather they do that to kill a Kythian than killing a Johnny. Go get a Triome to get white, but it could easily just be a red-green tap land for them. Oh no, they are definitely white. Into the boo. Hi, boo. So, they make boo. They target it to try and make it a 4/4. We lightning bolt it. And then we kill Minkskin Boo. Yeah, playing it onto a board like this is a pretty big risk. Oh, and now we're holding up Containment Priest too. I kill Minkskin Boo, please. Yeah. So now that we don't have that, I'm holding up activating Kythian to make it indestructible, activating Kellen to give it its ability, or playing Containment Priest if they clear the board in a way that I don't have a way to deal with. Shifting Woodland for Goldspan Dragon. Oof. I cannot kill a Goldspan Dragon easily, but are they even going to attack? They are. They make their special treasure. It's special because while Goldspan Dragon is out, it taps for 2. Choices. I'm going to play Containment Priest so that I can flip Kythian. Ooh, a Demi's pretty cool. But we're going to flip Kythian and make Goldspan attack me. Or attack it. Yeah. Go to combat. Get in for damage. Up to 1 target creature attacks Gideon next turn. target of a spell, so not an ability. And then I'm gonna hold up. We could play Bone Crusher here. It's the most damage. Yeah, I like playing Bone Crusher here. It's just the most damage, and if they want to target it, it hurts them. Fiery Confluence is a blowout, but we're very close to Fiery Confluence of our own, just killing them, which is what I'm trying to get to. Because Gideon next turn can make himself for 0 a 4/4 indestructible. So they have to attack Gideon to make their treasure. They could play a really big thing here, and that would be no fun. They have 9 mana, which is like Emrakul. Well, do they have the graveyard to Emrakul? 3 different types right now. Field of Dead. They're 1 off. They have no basics in play. That's super relevant. Yeah, hitting Bone Crusher hurts you. And Gideon's going to swing for 5. You need something here. Shifting Woodland becomes a target permanent. So you can make it into a Minx-Gamboo. But then Minx-Gamboo doesn't have a thing. Doesn't make Boo when it enters because Shifting Woodland was already there. So right now it can just be a questing druid, essentially. We're thinking hard here. Renin 6. Get back the fetch. Ping Gideon or Kellen. Ping Gideon. Sure.
Retreat.
So on paper right now, Fiery Confluence just kills them. I'm a big fan of that. Renin 6. So they're almost certainly like a strip miney situation with this red-green deck. Holding up mana? Into prime time. Oh my. Okay. And if we draw an untapped land right here, we just kill them? Do we kill them? We do 6 face. Oh, we're gonna get 2 triggers off Field of the Dead here too. Absence, very good, but I can't cast it. But I can. Oh, wow, this sucks. Wow. We really needed a land. Glad I put staff on the bottom. We never drew a land. I'm just going to play a Johnny here. They get a prime time. This is so bad. Yeah, I'm just going to play a Johnny. And no attacks. One would hope Containment Priest was keeping them off things, but now they also have a Caracas, so they can bounce my Ajani. A Demi also would have gotten bounced, so at least a Johnny makes a thing. Into loot. Wow, they are just drawing like a madman. I don't think we're winning this game. Mainly because all the things that help us win cost too much mana. Like, Elsbeth would win, but we don't have the mana. Fiery Confluence helps a lot, but we need to draw a land, and then if we're drawing a land, we're not doing anything else. Unexpectedly Absence, uncastable. Yeah, not drawing a whole land for the whole game is going to do it for us here. Just kill a Johnny before attacking? What's happening? They may be making themselves susceptible to getting Fiery Confluenced. Yeah, you go prime time, you go get 2 more zombies. No, even Fiery Confluence. At this point, we basically have to draw. I don't even know. We need. The issue is we need Parallax Wave, but Parallax Wave costs mana that we don't have. I'm just gonna take 10. Blocking here doesn't seem like it does a lot when they have a Caracas. I don't even, or not with a carcass, but when there's trample. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, into late. That's such a weird play. Why'd they do it like that? Yeah, one turn too late. Doesn't matter. I don't want to show them that I have like unexpectedly absent or fiery confluence, but ain't gonna be able to do much there. We did not see a lot of ramp. I'm gonna assume they have some amount of ramp. Dealing one doesn't do a lot. Mana Tithe could be pretty big at these like big mana cost. Gotta play them on curve plays. I'm gonna put in the Mana Tithe and nothing else. And I don't think there's a lot I want to take out. This deck is actually well tuned to beat a deck like this. Here I thought that killing the Minx and Boo on curve was going to be just a blowout, but never drawing another land kept us kind of on the back foot for the whole game there. That's okay. Rally back. Red-green beats. It's basically an aggro deck with just a lot of high-quality cards. Field of the Dead put in work. Not a fan of Field of the Dead as a card, personally, but it does a lot of work in this cube. Got a lot of lands to go get. I'm obviously on the play. Oh, hey, that's a Black Lotus. Doesn't do a crazy amount on turn one here. I'm still going to play it on turn one with a Voice of Victory Skull Clamp, and then I'm going to hold up Mana Tithe. Because Voice of Victory Skull Clamp is going to draw us through our deck so fast. We saw no blue cards, so I'm not too worried about like Force of Will, Force of Negation, anything like that. Still going to play my planes first. But yeah, so we play planes, play Black Lotus, sack Black Lotus for triple white, use 2 of it for Voice of Victory, use 1 of it for Skull Clamp, and then we're going to hold up Mana Tithe instead of equipping. We don't even want to equip to the Voice of Victory anyway, we want to equip to the tokens that it makes, or at least one of them. We play a mountain, we go to combat, they can't attack on, or they can't cast anything on our turn. I'm going to Skull Clamp 1 of these 2. Draw 2 cards, pass. Continue holding up a planes for this Mana Tithe. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because as soon as they play something that I'm going to Mana Tithe, you can have a Talisman. Lightning Bolt. Fury. To kill Voice of Victory. Wow. And has the Talisman. I mean, kind of. Wow. They had to exile Minx and Boo for that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to just play Monastery Mentor. And the next turn, we play Goblin Bombardment. The reason I'm playing Monastery Mentor here is multifaceted. I don't want them to be like super confident I had Mana Tithe. I could have just had like an exile effect. Could have had a lot of things. Options, options, options. Neither the Relic card gets +1/+1 for each land. So I could Fiery Confluence. I get the Prowess trigger, so this doesn't die. It makes a 1/1 and then the 1/1 dies. And by doesn't die, I'm going to do 2 to everything and blow up their Talisman. Seems pretty good. I could also just play Parallax Wave. I'm just going to play Parallax Wave this turn. Make a 1/1. Next, swing for 3. And I do not want them sacrificing to go get Field of the Dead or Strip Mine or whatever it is they're doing. And we can now also protect Monastery Mentor. That's fine. I play land. I play Goblin Bombardment. I equip a Skull Clamp to Mentor. And then I swing with the team. Boom, boom. I can at any point use Goblin Bombardment to throw the Mentor, draw 2 cards. Yeah, Black Lotus to Skull Clamp to do all the things. We're now on the draw. I think Mana-Type is even better now. And we didn't really see anything different. Fury's annoying against our deck for sure. We have very little to protect our stuff though, so yeah. Game 3, Black Lotus won us kind of a free roll there. I think we played that really well, holding up the Mana-Type and going all in on Skullclamp Voice of Victory. That was one of the combos that we called out when we took those 2 cards separately, is that the 1/1s are sackable to Skullclamp and they can't interact with us on our turn, so it's very hard to deal with that unless you have blockers. And if we just keep them from having blockers, then, I mean, we're going to win a lot of games. We're also going to win a lot of games where we see Black Lotus in our opening hand, so. Oof. I do not like this hand at all. This hand feels so precarious. Like on the draw, they just kill Giver of Runes and they play a threat that Absent doesn't deal with well, and then I just like lose the game. And then Mulligan is way better. Putting a Glorybringer, of course, on the bottom. We can play turn 1 Caracas, but I think I'm just going to play Kithian. They do have Renin 6 in the deck, which is obviously a bummer, but I am so tempted to play Goblin Bombardment and just kill this Llanowar Elves off of Kithian. If they play Minxkambu, which is like their biggest threat, I guess I can always just Caracas the token. So maybe I am supposed to just play like Voice of Victory here. Yeah, we'll just play Voice of Victory. And if they want to trade, I would have done that with Goblin Bombardment. I don't think they're trading. Yeah, I think we're seeing a Minxkambu here. And then we're just going to play Caracas and make Minxkambu sad. Wow. Fury is always going to be a blowout. But what'd they exile this time? Loot? Okay. Yeah, no matter what we had played there, I guess other than Goblin Bombardment, Fury was going to be a blowout. Knight of the Reliquary. Sure. I'm going to play Caracas, Goblin Bombardment. It's not legendary, but yeah, we're holding out for a hero now. Oh my gosh. You sideboarded in Canker Bloom? Or you're just mainboarding it, I guess? I mean, what did we show? Oh, we showed them Skull Clamp. I guess that makes some amount of sense. Oh. That's interesting. Play Giver of Runes. Play Lion Sash. Now you have a choice. What do you want to blow up? Next. I can take them off this elf since they're mana screwed. Let's see what they go get. I actually may throw either Giver or Lion Sash at the elf. Alright, let's see if they keep it on top. They did keep it on top. The problem is, I don't want this Knight of the Reliquary to get out of control. Man, this is a choice. So we could throw Giver of Runes at Llanowar Elves. And if I do, I guess Giver of Runes isn't doing a lot for us, and we get to hold up the Lion Sash then. But then if they blow up Lion Sash, I have nothing to use it on. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to blow up my Giver of Runes. to kill this elf. And then end my turn. Holding up Lion Sash and Goblin. I figured it was a land. They seemed really tight with their lands. If they Canker Bloom the Lion Sash, I get to eat something. Or I eat a land from their graveyard first to make this knight smaller. Okay. That's pretty annoying, because I can't eat the Flage. I can bounce it, I guess, but I'd rather just eat the land in their graveyard. Make this a 2/2. And then in response, throw it so they don't gain the 3 life. It's also one less card for them to eventually play this Flage, but... Oh no, you messed up. You messed up. You let me keep the Goblin Bombardment?
To the hunt.
Oh man, so we can bounce this and play a Johnny to make it have more creatures? Yeah. It makes me a little more susceptible to Minx and Boo, but that's okay. Turn target legendary creature to my hand. This one. Replay a Johnny. Goblin Bombardment.
Beautiful day, brother.
The Knight of the Reliquary. Sacking a 2/1. Take action. It deals a damage. Make a cat. I have another red permanent, so it deals 2 damage.
Join our cause.
And then sack a cat I just created to finish off the knight. And they can't cast Flage yet, they're still a card off. And we have a blocker. And Goblin Bombardment. Oh! Do they have a way to get double red? Oh yeah, they have Taiga. They didn't get double red to cast Flage. What is this? What? I'm gonna just cast... It could be like a removal spell. I'm just, for 1 damage, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna make this. They could have like Titania. Not Titania,
My vengeance.
the other one. Next, I'll attack. I don't know what just happened. They went and got blue source? Did they mess up? Did they just not realize they needed double red for the Flage here? Holding up mana again. I'm gonna keep my mana up as well. I can put this out of range of Flage now, putting a 1/1 counter on my things. It gives up 4 damage, but I'm not killing them this turn anyway. And now it's out of Flage range. Minx and Boo is not scary because we have a Caracas. We also have Goblin Bombardment, so... Unholy Heated Cat. I throw a cat. Turning 1 damage, or 3 damage into 1. Taking 5. Next turn I kill them. Minx and Boo, doesn't matter. You make the 1/1. You attempt to put counters on it. It gets Caracas, because Boo is legendary. Good game. Oh my goodness. Not getting double red lost them the game. And we know they have double red. We saw it. Well, we will take that. That was a big misplay from our opponent potentially. I don't know what the other cards in their hand was. I don't know why they went and got blue. They never showed us a blue card. Um, my assumption, honestly, is that was a white-blue land, and they have a Misty Rainforest in the deck, and it's Tundra, so it doesn't even cost life. So it turns Misty Rainforest into untapped white, because they can get the blue side on Tundra. So it turns their green-blue fetch into a white source as well. And since we know they have Tundra, that means it either gets untapped red-green or white. Hello there. I love that. That's a good name. I will play, please. Turn 1 Caracas, and then hang out. Not a fan on the play. Well, this is worse. This is a lot worse. I think I have to mulligan down to 5. Oh. Okay. What are our 5 cards we're keeping here? I'm guessing it's not Staff of the Storyteller or Absent. We can play a turn 1 Solitude off of Mountain, Chrome Mox, Black Lotus. I mean, if we're playing a turn 1 Solitude, I'd rather Containment Priest be in my deck, right? Over Unexpectedly Absent. I could also just chill out. We could play like turn 1 Mountain Pass, and then try to draw into something that doesn't mean I get rid of Containment Priest. I like that. I think I'm literally just going to go Mountain Pass, hold up Solitude if I need to play it the weird way. They could obviously go Swamp, Thoughtseize, or Duress, and I'd be really sad, but playing the Black Lotus doesn't do a lot, so. Because next turn we can Containment Priest almost always anyway. Oh, they went and got. They fetched on my turn to go get a tapped land. Alright, see now we can play Black Lotus and hold up Solitude. Would have loved to draw a white card, but what can you do? Or a white land. Because now I can't hold up Containment Priest without sacking Black Lotus. Mox Diamond's fine. Discard a land. So red, white, blue, black, red. Discarding a swamp, so we've seen everything but green. March? No thanks. I guess I'll just cast Solitude. I have a 3-2 lifelinker. Chrome Mox can be a white source for us. We draw another white card of any form. Magda. Okay. This is not going great. Given we did Mold 5. This is why Mold 5s are tough. I'm going to exile this and play Giver of Runes. And I'm not going to attack. You can have a treasure. Oh, no. Well, everything dies now. If everything's going to die, I might as well make it be that I gain 3 life. But yeah, GTA just eats the Giver of Runes. GTA's pretty good. We have 1 white source, so all of our double white cards don't work. Into Ocelot Pride, and you didn't gain life. Oh, okay, yeah. You got it. Yeah, they equip GTA, they attack with Ocelot Pride, they make a token. We're just out of this, it's over. Burst Lightning's fantastic. Where are you? Burst Lightning, get in here. Funny enough, with a Magda and an Ocelot Pride, Nova Hellkite becomes a lot better than Glorybringer. And yeah, I think that's our hand. I don't want to bring in. Well, actually, GTA in the like we're doing combat everything can be pretty good. What's the next worst card for us? Flicker Wisp? Yeah, Flicker Wisp. All right. Let's do it. On the play, Aggro versus Aggro again. Hello there. I want my 3-0. Can't take it from me. Uh-huh. Hey, that's a way more keepable opening hand. We're gonna keep that. I'm gonna play turn 1 Caracas. Reason being, I don't want them to play a 1-drop I don't want to see. Into... I'm just gonna play Goblin Bombardment. Goblin Bombardment is really powerful against these creature-based decks. Playing it first means that every time they try to remove things, they just lose things, which can be pretty good. Play a Mentor on curve here. If they try to kill it, I get to throw it for 1. We know they got plenty of removal. They paid 4 life. Cool. So Monetary Mentor was they discard a removal spell, and I deal 5 damage to them. Would you play that for 3 mana? Target player discards a removal spell and takes 5 damage. I would play that for 3 mana. Grief, exiling, Fatal Push? Wild. Yeah, you can pick a guard. None of these cards I think are impactful enough for me to care about you discarding. That's the advantage to aggro, is like discard effects are good if you can get me down to like no resources. But as a general statement, you just 2-for-1 yourself, and all my cards are kind of equivalent. Like, GT's not so much better than the rest of the cards in my hand right now. Obviously, if you reanimate here, it's you spent 3 cards and I'm discarding 2 cards and you're left over with the creature. So, you know, it kind of evens out. It's like 3 for 3, but Barrowglyph. So I'm gonna play Staff of the Storyteller, and to prevent this from hitting me or gaining the life, I'll chump block with the token and sack it. I wish Barrowglyph was legendary, but we are just looking for our Parallax Wave play now. And I'm worried about them playing a legendary, so I kept up Caracas instead of drawing to draw a land immediately. But I do believe we have no tap lands in the deck, so, you know, that can help. Reanimate Grief to take my Parallax Wave. That's a bummer. That's okay, though. Yeah, Parallax Wave. Barrowglyph is just huge. So we have to block. And then I throw it at your face. And then I draw with Caracas's ability. Huh. We need another thing to be able to throw and prevent the damage from Barrowglyph and the trigger. So whatever things we play, we're essentially sacrificing. Mana land would have been pretty impactful here. I want to get 2 things down. Wish I had up Containment Priest last turn, but it's clear there's some form of reanimate deck, but they currently have nothing to reanimate. So I'm going to just play... We're going to play out of Caracas right now. We're just going to give them a lot of targets. So we're going to actually block with Giver of Runes and sack it, because Voice of Victory is more damage on throwing things with Goblin Bombardment, and it makes a token for Staff of the Storyteller. We might be able to burn them out. You know, if they kind of swing out here. The only thing I care about not getting hit by is Barrowglyph. And Voice of Victory blocking here is a free roll. And then Barrowglyph there. And then before damage, I throw Giver of Runes. Couldn't have activated it anyway. If they have a removal spell, I can still throw the Voice of Victory. They also seem stuck on lands. GT. My turn. land 3, 6, 9. Girl so fine. Suck it to me one more time. Okay, we're really close to killing them because Chandra deals 2 by not doing its thing. Voice of Victory, I attack and I deal 3, and then I Goblin Bombardment all 3 to deal 6. So I'm 1 off lethal. So we're gonna do that. We have to go to combat first. The idea here is I'm gonna activate this rather than play Chandra. Chandra just dies. I need to play Containment Priest. There's so many good draws I could hit here. Ah, land is not one of them. Okay. We throw... We could kill Grief instead of dealing 2 damage. Jite is gonna gain them 4 life. Is the problem. Here's the thing. I actually don't want to kill Grief. And the reason is they're going to equip to Baraglyph. They're not going to equip to Baraglyph because they know if I have a thing I'm sacking to it. And it would make it so that I could, yeah, so we throw everything face. It gives us the opportunity for them to essentially misplay. They know I have Containment Priest. So if they want GTA to for sure trigger, they need to put it on Grief because I can't double block it. The problem with doing that is I could then throw both of my creatures at Grief to kill it before it deals combat damage. So they actually have to equip GTA to Fear of Missing Out. But Fear of Missing Out, I can block with Containment Priest. They need to see the line. If they equip to Grief, they lose. If they equip to Baraglyph, they lose. Fear of Missing Out, the game continues. Alright, they get 2 GTA triggers. What a bummer. I flash in Containment Priest. This is not legendary, not legendary, not legendary. Pass the blockers. I block the Baraglyph. I throw the Baraglyph at your face. Or I throw the Containment Priest at your face. Pass. You get 2 GTA triggers. Dink dink. You can gain 4 life off of GTA triggers. 4 life keeps you alive on the board right now. Okay. You can't cast spells on my turn. So I just go to combat. If you make Voice of Victory smaller, it gives -1/-1. So you can't kill Voice of Victory. So we mobilize 2. Make 2 more tokens. Yeah, we win this game. Right now, you're facing down lethal. You have to do something. You gain 2 life. Okay. You're not technically dead. You need to gain 2 more life because I can just start throwing things. Yeah, you have to do it before damage happens. Otherwise, in response to you gaining 2 life, I throw the rest of my thing. We go to damage. I throw a 1/1 at you. I throw a 1/1 at you. I play a Chandra after playing... Oh, I already played a land. I play a Chandra. I uptick. Chandra deals 2 because I just don't play the card, no matter what I hit. Alright, going to game 3. They also have the GTA, and the GTA is not really doing it for them. Yeah, I like my hand. I kept this hand intentionally. I built this sideboard intentionally. Alright, going to game 3 again. Can Boros sweep it? Pack 3 Black Lotus, kind of just forced ourselves to find a few good options to Black Lotus into. It's won us a few key games. Funny enough, we lost playing Black Lotus. That's a rare occurrence, but we did mulligan to 5. To do that, and Black Lotus, that is kind of the worst case scenario. You're basically putting everything on the does the thing I Black Lotus out, win me the game. Goblin Bombardment's been incredibly impressive. We have the combo with a Johnny, that's won us a game already. It's a good deck. Alright, final game, no matter how it slices. Show me a Black Lotus. Or a Chrome Mox. I'll take a Chrome Mox. I'll take a Chrome Mox. That's neither. And an unkeepable hand. Wow. I mean, we technically have a Kellen and we're on the draw. Or not Kellen, a Solitude, and we're on the draw, but we're going to mulligan with our opponent here. Burst Lightning. Keeping Caracas and Chandra. Ugh. Opponent's gone to 5. I don't like this hand either. I'm going to go 5 with them. It's risky, but we have really good draws. This is one of those really good draws. Wow, what do we put back? I assume it's Jite Chain Lightning, and we keep Skull Clamp Containment Priest for their Reanimate. They're thinking about this one. Oh, I think they have to actually put the 2 cards back to keep it. We're keeping 5 here. Obviously, we're keeping the lands. I think Chain Lightning and Jite are the worst, so that's what we'll do. Sacred Foundry for Skull Clamp. And then next turn, we're able to hold up Containment Priest Flash in and Lightning Bolt Burst Lightning. Being on the draw here is great when you both roll to 5. It's just that much more impactful. Alright, lands kind of on our radar now. We would love to see them just play something that dies to either Burst Lightning or Lightning Bolt, preferably Burst Lightning. Or neither. Okay. Yikes, that is kind of a terrible thing to see. Kythian, Skull Clamp Kythian? No, I think we just Skull Clamp Containment Priest and pass. And if they want to attack, if they attack, they draw a card, lose a life, and make a 1/1. But then I block with Containment Priest and Burst Lightning the Preacher afterward. And 2 cards here. They get 1 card, I get 2. It does mean I lose my Containment Priest, and we know they have a Reanimate. But it didn't really seem like they were like a Reanimator deck. Ugh, lands, yes. And they just play a 3-drop. Is there a creature in their graveyard? Or an instant in mine? Wow. So this, if I kill the Preacher with an instant, Baragoyf becomes, there's a creature already, so it becomes a 4/5 and I can't kill it. So to kill Baragoyf, which I think has to be the play, I have to, yeah, I have to double spell it, because the instant, Goyf see the card go to the graveyard. Yeah, so we let this resolve. We have to double kill spell it next turn. That is brutal, but it is what is required. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt, and you will see that Baragoyf will get bigger before dying. Nope, not an oops. That was totally the intentional play. When we play this, it blocks the 1/1 lifelinker. They get another attack with Preacher of the Schism. This time they'll just make a 1/1. Activating Restless Fence. To discard? What are we doing? Are we full out Reanimator? Oh no, land. Okay. I'm not blocking. probably play... Oh, this is interesting, isn't it? I'd probably play Kellen and sack it. Well, no, Kellen's actually better long term, right? So I play Kithian. And then using Arena of Glory, because I don't want to use its ability this turn, I Skull Clamp it. Draw 2. Goblin Bombardment is very good. We could go all in on card draw and play Kellen and sacrifice it. I quite like that. We are digging. We are digging! That's one of the cards we were digging towards. Nova Hellkite. Blows up a 1/1. It's a 4/5 on the board. We can give it pro. Whatever we need to. Yeah, they obviously have lots of lands, which is why they activated Restless Fence last turn as their only play. Hardcast Grief. I assume they take the Nova Hellkite. Fine by me. Because next turn we go Goblin Bombardment. Whoa! Whoa! Did not see that one coming. Alright, we're getting in for damage. Oh! We have something. Swamp. Yeah, I don't care. We're playing GK. We are not. We left up the Nova Hellkite. I have a Giver of Runes in play. So I'm just gonna hardcast it. I do not want to warp it. I want it to stay on the board. It deals 1 here. Next, no attacks. Restless Fence to make another menace creature. Sure. Sure. Attack with everything. You have more life, so you lose the life this turn. Ooh, this is like on a nail's edge. A lot of lands over there. Can't believe we both rolled to 5. This is crazy. Fatal Push. In response, I make this pro-black. And Path to Exile. Am I dead? I'm not dead, but this is brutal. I can hit Parallax Wave. Non-land permanent. Okay. So I go Monastery Mentor. We put Grief on top because it has Menace, and then Skull Clamp the creature we make. Why does it always want to keep up Arena of Glory? It's so annoying. Yeah, so we put well, if we do that, okay, so we put this here off of Arena of Glory. Next, end turn. We're not dead. Unless I have another removal spell, but even then, we absent to make a 1/1. So Prowess will trigger, and it makes it so it kills Preacher of the Schism. And then Unexpectedly Absent puts Grief on the bottom, or on the top. Pass. You draw, and then you draw discard. Yeah, Preacher of the Schism was a house here. We need Parallax Wave or Bust. So we pass the blockers. We block here. And then I do X equals 0 here. It makes a Monastery Mentor token. Put Grief on top. I draw 2 cards. Elsbeth. Voice of Victory. Copter. me dead. I can Arena of Glory, Voice of Victory to give it 1/1 counters. I think I have to start by playing Elsbeth and hoping drawing off of the tokens I make from Elsbeth draws me into things. Because right now we just died a Copter. So we have to find an answer to Copter. 2 lands is not an answer to Copter. Come on, deck. Oh, of course it left up Arena of Glory for me. Doesn't matter. Copter's not legendary. We drew 4 lands in a GT this turn cycle. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lands. Yuck. Keep in mind we have a Chrome Mox and a Black Lotus, which both would have been better here, which count as lands. And we only have 16 lands. So 4, 8, 12. So there's only 2 lands in my 15 land deck from here. I do this. I attack with it. Gold Clamp kills it. We drew Parallax Wave. I'll show him the Parallax Wave that we were digging so hard for. That was what we were drawing toward. We had a lot of outs. 2-1. Dang, this deck was so close. If we'd gotten Black Lotus earlier, and if we'd had maybe a little bit better draws, we definitely could have done it. Faced a lot of aggro. Tis the way it is. But that's the Arena Cube. Another 2-1. Really solid deck. Obviously, Black Lotus and Chrome Mox were the big hitters, keeping us in the game and accelerating. Parallax Wave is absurdly strong. We didn't really get to showcase it too well, but it did outright win us a game. And it was the card we were always looking to draw towards because it just outright won. Elsbeth as a finisher just is brutal. Either to kill you out of nowhere or to just make a board presence that can't be stopped. It wasn't enough to save us there, but what are you going to do? And yeah, that was the draft. A little 2-1 action on Boros. A lot of fun. Really enjoying the Arena Cube so far. See you on the next one.